Hello, my name is Kimberly Hedrick, and I have the opportunity to serve as the superintendent of the Medical Lake School District. I'd like to take a few minutes of your time today and share some information regarding two upcoming replacement school levies that you'll see on your February 13th ballot. The first is the replacement of our Educational Programs and Operations levy. This is a levy that is annually renewed. It is flexible revenue from you, our local taxpayers, and supplements the basic education, the things that are not typically funded by our state funding resources. It specifically includes athletics, all extracurricular activities, as well as other programs that I'll talk about a little bit more in a moment. This levy is subject to a levy law passed in 2018, in which it requires us to collect annually a minimum of $1.50 per thousand of assessed value in order to receive our full state levy match. It is a 3-year renewal, and it requires a simple majority of 50% plus one. The other levy is also a replacement levy. It's a 3-year replacement of our capital projects levy. We are just finishing up a 6-year levy, and I'll share a little bit about the information of what we did with those previous year funds and what we plan to do with the future funds. It looks at things like and supports technology, safety and security measures, repairs roofs, air conditioning and heating systems, parking, etc. Again, this levy also will be a 3-year collection, and as requires that 50% plus one. So just to give a little bit more in-depth information around how schools are funded, I want to share with you where our dollars come from. As you can kind of see in the circle chart on the left, this is our total district revenue. 71% of that revenue comes from the state. In essence, that is based on a pure pupil funding that includes staffing ratios as well as supply costs and other things. So 71% of our total budget comes from that. The other next largest amount is our local funds, and I'll talk a little bit more in depth, but that's 20% of our budget comes from local funds to include our levy. And then about 9% of our budget is federal funds that include special education, as well as other intervention programs such as Title I. So to get a little bit more information regarding our local funds, we are unique over many other districts in the fact that rather than 1 or 2 areas in which we gather local dollars, we have 3, with the third one being what's called Impact Aid. And this is a federal program that is provided to districts such as ours that have significant federal property within their district boundaries. So the fact that we have Fairchild Air Force Base within our district boundaries, these are funds that are appropriated annually. So in essence, Congress has to vote on it every single year to ensure that we are provided the funding that is in lieu of obviously our ability to assess property taxes for Fairchild Air Force Base. So that's about 41% of those local dollars come from Impact Aid. The next portion, as you can see, is about 29% is that traditional levy. What you will see on the ballot on February 13th for educational programs and operations is that 29%. You approve that, and that is what is assessed in terms of property taxes. And then that third piece is what I mentioned just a few moments ago, is that state match, right? Those are state funds that are provided to districts such as ours that have lower assessed values. We must collect our levy funds of at least a minimum of $1.50 per thousand as a rate in order to receive the full match. So what do these levy and local dollars actually fund? In terms of educational programs and operations, for every dollar of a levy dollar, these 48 cents of it goes to our educational programs and school support. Additional teaching staff so that we can reduce class sizes, paraeducators and other classified staff in order to support intervention programs, the needs across the district, administrative support such as our elementary assistant principals, early learning, military family advocate, parent partners that we have to support our parents, as well as advanced classes. Those are all examples of those education programs and school supports. In terms of maintenance, about 19 cents of every dollar goes to maintenance. Again, providing for additional staffing to keep schools safe and secure, grounds well kept, facilities in proper working order so that we can serve our community and our students as best possible. 15 cents of every dollar goes to extracurricular. That's athletics and clubs, fine arts, music, career-based education opportunities, after-school programs, Future Farmers of America, robotics. 100% of those programs are supported through levy dollars. So it may be only 15 cents or 15% of our levy that goes to that, but that's 100% of how those are operated. Those are beyond basic education, and state funding does not provide any support in those regards. Additionally, in the past, and we will continue in some capacity to support technology, we've replaced Chromebooks, servers, access points. We also use this to support our parent communication resources. Our new Parent Square subscription and those kinds of resources are provided through our technology dollars. A growing portion of our levy funds are coming in the aspect of nursing and mental health services. Our nursing support, we have 3 school nurses. The state funds for us, our state funding is a little bit less than 1 full-time nurse, and we have 3, as well as 3 health aides. And that is simply to be able to adequately address the health needs of the students within our community and our buildings. Additionally, we have a licensed mental health coordinator that coordinates all of our interns and provides mental health supports to all of our students, families, staff, and the community at no cost to them. Really providing that backbone of resources so that we can ensure that students are able to learn every single day. Then we also use these dollars for safety and security. Specifically, that it funds our, in partnership with the Spokane County, our Spokane County resource deputy that we have here full-time within our district, as well as other district security personnel, staff trainings, and such things like that. And then finally, a small portion of these levy dollars provide support for special education, students with disabilities who are in need of additional supports. This is support that is beyond the state funding that is provided and these required services. To speak a little bit more about our capital projects levy, the second measure, really, again, that goes to support buildings and infrastructure, those kinds of things, as well as we're shifting to include technology within our capital projects levy for this next three years. We purchase approximately 300 Chromebooks annually in order to replenish and make sure that we have the most up-to-date technology for our students. Other projects include completing the necessary roof repairs at the high school and other school buildings. Our previous levy, the last 6 years, we have been able to utilize those funds as well as grant dollars in order to complete 90% of that replacement of the high school roof. It was at 25 years and nearing end of life. And so at this point, we've spent $1.4 million in really getting that high school roof up to standard. Additionally, we've done energy upgrades, and we will continue to do energy upgrades as needed in order to ensure that we are most energy efficient and really being able to have cost savings for our community across all of our buildings. Things such as asphalt, our playgrounds and parking lots are in need of asphalt repair and as well as basic replacement. And then continued security improvements. You can kind of see in the pictures, there's a picture of our high school roof, but 2 additional security improvements we made previously was securing the high school campus through the chain link fencing. And our most recent project that is just finishing up this week is really providing that second level of entry at our middle school to ensure that we have a The buzz-in system is actually a two stage, just like all of our other systems and programs. And so we will continue to use funds to enhance cameras and other security measures as we move forward. To share a little bit about the impact of our district based on the Gray Road fire, just so you know, the property that was destroyed will be subject to a tax refund and already has been prorated to the date of the fire, which was August 18th. That means that the folks who were impacted, had their property destroyed, will have a reduced tax impact for the next 3 years, tax assessment and impact for the next 3 years. For the 2023 school year, that resulted in about a $60,000 to $100,000, between $60,000 and $100,000 in loss of revenue for our district. Customarily, school districts can go back and recapture that through adding an additional assessment. However, we, in conversation with our board, we are not doing that. We feel like that's in best interest of our community, and that we can support that in other ways. Just so you know, it's an estimated about 111 million in destroyed property, about 530 total properties, which is about 8.5% of the tax base. Over the last, you can see this is actually 20 years, we've had a really high support from our community for our levies as well as our bonds. And we look forward to continuing that positive relationship with all members of the Medical Lake School District community. So this is a current snapshot back to 10 years ago in terms of where property values and school taxes have kind of shifted and changed, and what it looks like for us as a Medical Lake School District. As you can see, back in 2013, we were assessed, or we collected at about a rate of $5.43 per thousand. And since that time, in 2013, that rate has decreased significantly as assessed values have increased. As I mentioned previously, in 2018, the laws changed in which schools were then, the state then shifted how schools are able to assess or request levy funds, in the fact that they put a cap on the highest amount that a school can ask for in levy funds is $2.50 per thousand. And in order for schools to receive the state match, they must collect at a minimum of $1.50 per thousand. So in 2018, we did go out and do an a levy request that we anticipated to be at $1.50 per thousand. Just so you know, schools can't assess at a rate per thousand. We actually have to ask for a total dollar amount and then try and ensure and kind of do some forward crystal ball planning to see if in subsequent years, if what we anticipated would be about $1.50 per thousand actually comes true in terms of collection. And as you can see, all but 1 year, we have been below, and as you can see for this 2023 year, significantly below that value in terms of us collecting at that $1.50 per thousand rate. And I have a slide here in just a moment that'll show you kind of the impact in us in terms of lost revenue from that state match. And so that as we look forward towards the 2025 tax years, we're looking to try and see how we can ensure that we're receiving that full match. This chart just shows kind of, again, that shift in terms of the lighter gray is actually the state schools tax, property taxes at the state schools. You can see the lighter gray is what has been traditionally for a number of years. And then that dark gray comes into play when they shifted the requirement. So the states added a little bit more property tax. They call it state schools tax 2, if you look at your tax bill. They added a little bit more and then limited the amount that the districts can request from their communities. This is just yet another view that kind of shows in terms of where we have been. The dark green is what we requested or what we put on the ballot as what we anticipated to be the rate. And then that dark gray is the actual rates in which we collected. And you can kind of see we've attempted, like I said, over the last 6 years to really be right at that $1.50 per thousand. But due to increases in assessed value, we've been either below or significantly below that amount. And this is what it's cost. The numbers in red are essentially the loss of funding that we receive from that state match for each year in which we are below that $1.50 per thousand in assessed value, with the 2023 being significant in being over $250,000 in lost value and in lost revenue. This just shares for you kind of where we stand against the other school districts in the county. A number of districts, if not most of the school districts in the county, are going out for an educational programs and operations levy this school year, in February. We right now, currently, based on this year's 2023 tax rates, are about fifth in terms of total tax collection. That includes our bond as well as the two levies. And I will tell you that a number of the districts that are both below where we're at as well as above are also asking for levy dollars, and some of them are making significant increases in that and will probably most likely leapfrog over where we're at in terms of where we are in the county. And so this is what we propose. This is what we're asking. This is the estimated rate that you will see on the ballot. Additionally, you also see the total dollar amount for the over each year for the next 3 years, in which we are attempting to, again, have that crystal ball about what the assessed value is going to be, where it's going to grow, but as well as kind of cushion to ensure that we're meeting that $1.50 per thousand minimum in order to receive that full state match and receive those full state funding revenues that our community is warranted and eligible for. So this year is we're looking at next year as being 2024. What you'll see on the ballot is for these calendar years of 2025, 2026, and 2027, at which we're anticipating the estimated levy rate to be about $1.55 per thousand for the educational programs and operations levy, and then 45 cents per thousand for the capital levy. So what does that mean for you in terms of the bottom line, that bottom dollar as a taxpayer? For you, the combined EP&O and capital levies, for every $100,000 of assessed value, you're looking at about a $32 increase, estimated annual increase in your tax bill for the Medical Lake School District, which equates to about $3 a month. And, you know, as best we could to gather, maybe a cup of coffee, although somebody did tell me the other day that that won't even buy a cup of coffee these days. So who knows? But I just want to thank you. I want to thank this community for the support that you continually give the students, the families, and the Medical Lake School District. We have a pretty special thing here focused on every student every day. If you have questions or want some answers, please feel free to reach out to myself. We also, our Assistant Superintendent of Finance and Operations, Mr. Chad Moss, is, as one of our board members say, a financial wizard, and definitely is welcome to your questions, as well as our Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning, Mr. Robert Haugen, a 1995 grad of Medical Lake High School, who is here and joining and focused on and excited to be with us. But if you have any questions, please let us know. Or if you have a group that you'd like us to present to or provide more information to, please reach out to any one of us. We look forward to continuing this conversation, and we appreciate your continued support. Thank you, and have a great day.